Your body does not care what you say you want. It does not even care what you privately want. It does not care about your self-image or your intentions. It does not even care about the story you've been telling about why the result has not appeared just yet. The body simply keeps the receipt. It records what you repeat and not what you admire or what you plan, what you claim, not even what you hope your actions will eventually become, and not what you occasionally do or attempt to do when the motivation returns. It cares about what you repeat. People say they want to be lean, strong, healthy, capable. And they say this seriously, like they really mean it. Many of them actually do mean it when they say it. But saying it, meaning it, and living for it are not the same thing. The body does not listen to declared priorities. It responds to repeated behavior over time through enough repetitions. That behavior builds something. The body eventually reflects what you have been doing, not what you have been telling yourself or anyone else, not what you want and not what you wish would happen either. The body does not forget. It does not negotiate. It simply gives you the receipt. And the receipt is thorough, with no room for haggling. It might get confusing for some people because they look at the result and decide that something must have gone wrong. The body is betraying them and their genetics are working against them. The circumstances must have been unfair. Perhaps the method they are using needs upgrading. They need a different training split or to adjust their exercise choice. Something must have been just a bit off. And sometimes those things are true, partially. But often the body is not confused at all. It is just showing you your own receipt. I myself have spent a significant portion of my early training years wanting to be lean, not just fit, lean. The sort of visible year-round abs-popping leanness condition that tends to occupy the mental image of most people when being in shape is mentioned. The perfect Instagram physique. That was the declared goal. The one that I had in my head. The one I believed I was moving towards. But I also trained heavy, ate enormous amounts of food, drank shakes in between meals, loaded up on protein and BCAAs, and stayed in a caloric surplus for what must have been months at a time. I called cardio pointless and avoided any extended discomfort that did not come from resistance training under a barbell. I got the results, big ones in some respects. My strength went up. The size came along with it. I was not the person who showed up and did nothing. I worked hard and I ate seriously. I repeated the process long enough to see compounding effect, but I did not get lean, not year-round, not at all, not close to the image I truly wanted. For a while, I blamed things outside the training, my metabolism, my genetics, but the fact that staying lean required a level of sustained discomfort I was not quite prepared to sit in was another conversation that I did not want to have. There was always a reason the gap existed between the result I wanted and the result I kept getting. I even started to claim publicly that I only cared about strength because it was the only thing I seemed to be getting. I started focusing on increasing my lifts and publicly declared as loudly as I could that cardio was pussy behavior. And yet, inside, I still wanted to be the stereotypically lean, in-shape guy. And it just felt simpler to stick to what I knew. Lifting heavy, eating tons of meat. Realistically, it was overkill. I definitely did not need 300 to 400 grams of protein daily. And more importantly, the protein intake was beside the point. The huge caloric surplus was the main issue. But doing this was much simpler than doing what I knew I needed to do. Stay in a caloric deficit and do some cardio. That's the honest version. Simpler, easier, not easier to start doing. I was not undisciplined. I was disciplined towards a result I was publicly claiming as my only goal, while privately I was hoping a different one would come as a side effect. I was not failing because I lacked discipline. I was failing because my discipline was pointed at the wrong result. I even fooled myself. Perhaps if I gained enough muscle, It would increase my metabolism enough so that I would no longer need to diet and I would get lean as this side effect. I remember watching a YouTube video saying something close to that, but every meal eaten in a surplus, every cardio session skipped, every week I decided recovery and size mattered more than deficit, the body read all of it and produced accordingly. I was building mass. I was choosing that repeatedly with my actual behavior. I had just not been willing to say so out loud. My body was not confused. It was doing exactly what I was telling it to do. The gap was not between my effort and my result. The gap was between what I said I wanted and what I was actually living intentionally for. Once you get the receipt, it tends not to flatter you. It does not adjust for how sincere you sounded when you set the goal or how much certain moments cost you, nor how long you've been at it. It records what was repeated. If you repeat a surplus, the receipt shows it. If you repeat training, the receipt shows it. If you repeat inconsistency, the receipt shows it. If you repeat patience, the receipt shows that too. But you do not get to pick and choose what the receipt shows and what it forgets. The body knows, and it always remembers. Circumstances matter, genetics matter, stress, age, sleep, health, all of it matters. These things change the cost, the timeline, the method that's optimal. They can make the same effort produce different results in different people, but none of them erase the receipt. They change what certain items on the receipt cost, not whether you are getting one. The uncomfortable thing about understanding is that it removes most of the excuses available. Not all of them, because some starting points are genuinely harder than others. Some circumstances are unfair and difficult in ways that cannot be argued or reasoned away. But underneath those real external factors, most people are building towards something. And the honest question is whether what they are building matches what they claim to want. More often than not, it does not. Not because they are lazy or weak, but because they have not been truthful with themselves about which goal their actual behavior is pointed at. The body is not your audience. It's not here to admire your intentions or credit your sincerity. It is not moved by the fact that you wanted it badly or that the effort cost you something. It just records what you actually did, what you repeated, whether you've been training hard, whether you were eating like a pig while training hard, whether skipping the discomfort was preferable to going out for a run, whether you were quietly doing the work. So if the result is not what you want, there's only one question worth asking. Not why is this happening to me? Not what is wrong with my genetics, my situation, and my starting point, but what am I actually repeating? Because what you repeat is what the body records, and what the body records is what you become. You are not built by what you want. You are built by what you repeat.